Well, first things to say is Happy New Year to both of you, and hopefully a really good Happy New Year to you, Jordan, because we hear you're really close to coming back.
Yeah, well, first of all, Happy New Year to you and all the fans. But yeah, it's been good to be back involved training, and I'm nearly there, just at the final stages.
Now, talking about that, you must be desperate to get back out onto that pitch, and you were telling me today you were out there playing a game. What's it like to actually back with the full squad doing that kind of thing?
Yeah, it's brilliant. I think sometimes when you're injured it's a bit tough mentally, because sometimes you are on your own and you don't get to go to training, you don't get to see the boys as much, don't get integrated at all really. It's tough at times, but it was just good to be back in the AstroTurf and get back playing, because that's what you love doing, and of course you miss it.
So is there a possibility for you coming back this weekend, or is it, I think the gaffer said a couple of weeks when he was in?
I think this weekend might be just too soon, but we're just taking each day as it comes. So we'll take tomorrow, we'll see what happens tomorrow, and we'll take things from there. But it'll definitely be next week for sure, but we'll take this week each day as it comes.
What was the process like to get back to fitness this time?
I think it was a bit slower this time, just due to the fact that I'd obviously redone the injury, so it was a wee bit more cautious and careful. But it's been a thorough process, and I've worked hard, and Stevie the physio has worked hard to get me back to where I am, so I'm in a good place right now, and hopefully that continues.
Desperate to get back into the team?
Desperate. I've missed it. It's tough to watch from the stand and know that you want to be involved, and of course I'm cheering the boys on, but it's just tough mentally sometimes as each week goes by. But it'll be good to be back involved.
Timo, Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year.
Just starting off a nice simple one, squad fitness. Alex Kirk's back in training, I believe. Will he be available for selection for the game on Saturday?
Yeah, Alex will be available. He's been back up the road just over a week. So it was good to see him back up. Because obviously we've had 4 major injuries really, mainly at the back. So it was good, and it was good to see Jordan back in with the squad as well today. So at least then there's a little bit more depth in the squad now defensively, and just see where it goes for the weekend.
In a very tough game at the weekend, Hamilton Accies desperate for points, and United kind of looking to get back on track. It looks to be like a real tasty one. Yeah,
it's going to be a very tough game. We take each game as it comes, and you can see at the weekend obviously Arbroath beating Dundee. Just proves how competitive this league is, and you have to respect each team, and we know Saturday's going to be a tough game because they're going to come here fighting for every inch of the pitch, but at the same time so are we want to get back to picking up points, and we want to fight and work hard and scrap if we possibly can, to make sure that happens. So it's good now we're getting a little bit more. Some of the injured players are coming back, so there's a little bit more depth, so there's more competition, and so hopefully we can keep it going.
Now, we've been talking over the last few weeks about how many injuries there have been. You're sort of suggesting that it's getting better, but was the game being off on Monday helpful to you?
I don't know. I'm a big believer. A game comes up, you take it. So I was a bit gutted it was called off at the weekend, but I suppose in hindsight, it gives the players an extra few more days to prepare themselves for a game, or the injured players can come back in. So I suppose medically it most probably is better. But like game wise, you just want to play that consistency, playing Saturday. I think because that's what we work for, that's what we work hard for as a team and as a club. So I suppose on a medical side, if I was a medical person, I'd say yeah. But on a coaching side, nah. Just want the games.
And we're speaking off camera there, Timo, about young Ollie Egripon, only 15 years old, and he's getting interest in various Premier League clubs. He obviously had the time training down with Brentford, and he's been a youth international. Just how good of a player is he, and how good is that for a club like Ayr to have such interest in a player?
I really like Ollie. Ollie came in to train with the first team on a Tuesday morning, October, not last year, the year before, and he did really well. Davey White and Stuart spoke really well of him. I said, let's bring him in, test him. I explained like what I've done before with young goalkeepers. If they get time off school or anything else, school holidays, let's get him in, let's get him involved. And we've certainly done that. And first impressions, thinking, oh yeah, this boy is tidy, like, you know, very technically sound. But then obviously Lee coming in, and you know, the manager's been different class with that because he encourages it. So to give me the license to, yeah, that's no problem. So integrating it with the rest of the team, and the big thing is Aidan and Charlie have been great with him, because we've had the manager and them two are all on board to bring Ollie in to train. It doesn't work, and I've got to say a great shout to the gaffer and to Aidan and Charlie, because they're superb with him. So like, if you know certain things, if I'm serving whatever across there and doing the session, they'll talk to him. They'll give him little golden nuggets to work on and to look at. And the big thing is he's coachable, so he picks things up very quickly. Which is really good. And going down the road down into a Premier League club, I would guess they would see the technical side of him all, and I think they see that coachable side of him. And so we'll wait and see what happens. But I think it'll be a number of clubs keeping an eye on him, definitely.
What's the attitude from Man United about him? Because we all know that he's a talent there. Do you want to lose him just now, or do you want to keep him?
I think you cross that bridge when it comes. To be honest, I mean, for me, you know, as a coach, you want to see them develop all the way through into your team. But I'm not being funny, like, I think if a Premier League club comes knocking on your door, you can't stop someone, you know, to go, you know, as much as that then. But look, he's an Ayr United player, and let's see what happens. Let's see who knocks on the door, and see where it goes.
Just jumping back to you then, Jordan, it's about whether you're playing or not at the weekend, saying it might not be time. You're coming against Hamilton, the team's coming against them. As a player who's played against them before, what are they like to play against?
I think it's always been a tough game, and that's shown this season. It's always tough. They like to move the ball, like to try and make the pitch big, so I would say as a player it's always tough, but we've got to focus on ourselves and what we do. We've got our strengths, and we've got to make sure that we impose them and make sure we put our foot on the game, make sure we do what we are good at, and hopefully the outcome's positive.